exciting. Come on in. Hi there. Would you like a tour of my cottage? I've been living here for 7 years. It's a DIY slow renovation, and although I have YouTubed in the past, I've never really done it in earnest, and I've just recently picked up the reins. And what better way to start than actually showing you the downstairs? Follow me. So we're going to start off with the room that I call the cinema room, mainly because it has a projector on the ceiling and also a blank wall. So this is the room that at the weekend my family and I come to watch films and spend some time together as a family. My youngest also loves playing her Xbox or PlayStation, whatever it is, in here. This is a funny room because it actually has the front door in it, and it can get quite cold because the front door is an original Georgian door and there's lots of gaps around it. So that's something on our DIY project that we do need to look into. If we looked up, you'd be horrified. There's currently no ceiling. We've been waiting for the plumbing work to be completed before we could put the ceiling up. So we're nearly there with that. So that's going to make a vast improvement when we can actually get the ceiling up. As for furniture in this room, I'm not entirely happy with everything. I love this sofa. This sofa we picked up in an auction, and it needs some work. It's not hugely comfortable and it does need some work, but that's a keeper. This lovely, gorgeous workbench belonged to my father-in-law, and he had it in his house in France. And when he sold up and moved back to France, I bought this off him, and this is an absolute keeper in this room. The rest of the furniture is just really temporary bits of garden furniture, just so we can all have somewhere to sit. So there's work to be done here. I'm not entirely happy with this room, but I do love the panelling. We put this panelling up when we first moved in. It's by the English panelling company, and we painted it in an Edward Bulmer colour called Trumpington, which you'll see used in other parts of the house because I absolutely adore that colour. It's a really mucky yellow and I just love it. So that's really all I've got to say about this room. It's work in progress. Things still need to be done, but I think this is going to be a great room when it's finished. So follow me, I'll take you into the kitchen. We're scooting through the boot room and into the kitchen. And as you will see, this is not finished at all. So that's the full view, and now I'll tell you a bit more about it. So here we are in the kitchen, and it doesn't have doors, it doesn't have windows. There's a massive skylight here that's all boarded up. So it's not finished, and it's far from finished. But let me just explain to you. Hubby and I are both self-employed, and we took this project on about 7 years ago. Neither of us have any experience with this type of thing, so we've done up houses, but we've never properly renovated, and we've certainly never actually built anything before. So when we built this extension, we actually doubled the footprint of the house. So when this is finished, this space is just going to be amazing. It's a real juxtaposition to the older part of the house with the low ceilings and small windows. This has got a tall ceiling, big windows, lots of light, so I cannot wait to get this done. But this house is a labour of love, and it will just take as long as it takes, but it's going to be good when it's done. So back to the kitchen. I've been going around looking at loads of National Trust properties. Even though this is a sort of modern extension, I really want this part of the house to have a real National Trust kitchen type of feel. So I'm looking out for old Victorian units and things like that. So the stove, the wood pellet stove, was delivered the week before Christmas. and that is a really key part of the kitchen design. And also the table, I designed the table and my husband made it quite a few years ago now, and it is a bit too small for the kitchen, so we're going to basically strip it down and rebuild it so it's slightly bigger to fit the proportions of this room. So that's another key part. I haven't decided on colour or anything else like that, but ideas are brewing and I can't wait to carry you along, bring you along with the journey. What I do know is here, where this big unit is, this big housekeeper's cupboard, this is actually going to live in the boot room, which we quickly skirted through. But here I'm going to have what I'm going to call the most amazing glazed pantry ever. So when I do my vintage show and tell, you'll notice that I'm always collecting jars and pots and things, and I'm always talking about my glazed pantry, and that's where it's going to go. There's so many things that I want to tell you, but I really don't want to go on for too long, so maybe I'll just have to do a separate video on just the kitchen. But for now, let me take you into the living room. So here we are in my living room, and this is the last room that I'm going to show you today. The living room is the one room that I always try and keep cosy, comfortable, warm. There's always flowers in here, fragrance candles. So this is the room that my family can come and feel comfortable in. No matter what mess we're in anywhere else, at the end of the day, it's the living room we want to retreat to. It's not 100% finished, but it is more finished than all of the rooms in the rest of the house. The log burner behind me, this is a Burley Brampton. We installed that about 2 years ago, and my goodness, that made so much difference to the house. It's an 8 kilowatt wood burner, and when it's really cranked up, it can pump heat around the whole of the house. So that's been an absolute godsend. And in the absence of any other central heating, we really need something like that to keep us warm. Behind you there is a wall of reclaimed scaffold planks. I absolutely love that wall, and eventually I have plans to put lots of portraits, pastel portraits, which I've got hidden away in a folder. Here is a cupboard, and these are actually reclaimed shutters that we bought from a reclamation yard, and this opens up and the television is in here. So this is our TV cupboard, and the television is on a bracket which pulls out into the room. The colour that I've opted for in this room for the woodwork is Edward Bulmer Trumpington, which I absolutely adore. It's a really, really mucky yellow, and I just think it suits the natural tone of the cottage. We have insulated this room. There's insulation here on the external wall. To the side here, there's a brick wall. That's actually going to be a window in between the kitchen and the living room at some point, so I can't wait to do that. The floors are Pamment tiles, which are Norfolk Pamments, and they've got a lovely red, orangey, salmony tone. Unfortunately, we are going to have to take those up to put some sort of natural insulation under them. It's just really cold in the winter. You can feel the cold coming up, so we're going to take them all up, number them all, clean them all, take them all up, and put the insulation down, and then try and put them back as they were. So this is it. It's not finished, this room. The sofa, as much as I love an Ian Mankin check, unfortunately the sofa was given to us from my father-in-law with that check on it, and the fabric is so old now, it's really, really threadbare, so we are going to have to replace that, and I haven't quite decided yet whether to go for another Ian Mankin check or whether to do something different. We need better chairs that are a bit more comfortable. So this room needs furniture, but the bones of the living room are already here, and it already is the one of my favourite rooms in the house. In the in about, I don't know why I'm looking at imaginary watch, in about an hour the sun is going to come round and it's just going to light up this area. It's absolutely beautiful. Anyway, I hope you liked that quick tour of the downstairs of my renovation project. If there are any questions, if anything hasn't been cleared, just drop me a message. I'd love to answer or maybe elaborate with another video. But for now, that's it. If you enjoyed that and would like to see more, please do remember to subscribe. And all I can say is have a good week, and I will update you on my renovation again next week. Bye for now.